Hi, this aviation trip report is about a trip I undertook back in late October, early November 2019, before the COVID virus, and involves a trip I made to Bangladesh. To be specific, Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh. On our way between Delhi and Dhaka, I flew on SpiceJet SG-39 that was operated by BT-SYE, an aircraft that's gone back to do the proving flights for the newly rejuvenated Jet Airways. I had the emergency exit row seats, so lots of leg room and a pre-booked breakfast, which was chicken tikka, a croissant, and an omelette. A bit of mix and match. But what was most interesting about this flight was the approach into Dhaka. The capital of Bangladesh is one of the most congested urban areas in the world, and this approach was quite fascinating. You could see the congestion all around you. The houses just don't seem to end as you approach the runway. It was a very fascinating approach and a unique one for me. It was my first time flying into Dhaka. After landing on runway 14 at Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport at Dhaka, we taxied quickly to the international terminal. We were guests of the India-Bangladesh Friendship Foundation, which meant we were VIP guests and ushered through immigration and customs very quickly, surprisingly quickly actually. Dhaka Airport is undergoing massive renovation right now, and if you look at the Google Maps image of it, you can make out the amount of work that's happening. The airport in October 2019 was quite old and old-fashioned in a matter of speaking, despite the immense amount of traffic that takes place in and out of Dhaka. Dhaka is really a plane spotter's paradise. There are several local private airlines in Bangladesh, as well as very frequent services, not just by Indian Airlines, but airlines from the Arabian Peninsula as well. Our next flight was to take us to Cox's Bazar, and we flew on US Bangla Airways on a Boeing 737-800. While going past the taxiway, we could see a lot of old, stored, and dilapidated aircraft of the former United Airways, which has nothing to do with the US airline United. Unfortunately, I was sitting facing west, and I couldn't take too many pictures of our approach into Cox's Bazar. But once we landed at Cox's Bazar, we saw some unique aircraft at this small airport as well, and a quick walk through the tarmac, allowing me to get this lovely picture of our aircraft. And look at the terminal, it's so nice and quaint. Cox's Bazar is a truly unique part of the world. We traveled a lot through the town, and we even did some sightseeing, going to a local temple and taking a boat ride in the delta region of the Irrawaddy River, which is more towards Myanmar. It's a fascinating hearing Rabindra Sangeet, and being a Bengali myself, I found this entire experience quite unique. Cox's Bazar is a major tourist destination for locals in Bangladesh, and the area is teeming with a lot of hotels. We stayed at the Royal Tulip, which is quite a nice hotel. It even had a bar for me to have a beer every day, but not much else. It's a fascinating part of the world, and I was there as part of the India-Bangladesh Friendship Foundation, and we got lots of talks done, made lots of friends from Bangladesh. It's amazing that as a Bengali, I have never been to Bangladesh before, and I really enjoyed the trip, even though quite sadly, I also got to see some of the Rohingya refugees in this part of the world. On our way back, we went to the airport, and because we were VIPs in a matter of speaking, we got tarmac access. And right now you can see a Bangladesh Air Force C-130 Hercules making touch and go operations. It was quite an amazing view we got of not just this aircraft, but a lot of the local flights that operate between Dhaka and Cox's Bazar daily. We saw quite a few planes on the tarmac from quite a few airlines before our ATR S2 AKJ landed and was supposed to take us back to Dhaka. I got the very last window seat on board the aircraft, the very last seat on the plane. Again, a lot of dilapidated old aircraft at Cox's Bazar Airport as well, mainly British Aerospace HS-748 aircraft. There are quite a few of these all over Bangladesh, in fact. We backtracked to the threshold of runway 35 before taking off due north over the coastline and the rivers and the estuaries. It's an amazing, amazing sight flying over Bangladesh. Unfortunately, both for my approach and takeoff from Cox's Bazar, the sun wasn't exactly at the right angle. However, you can get an idea of how vast the rivers in this region are. Soon afterwards, we found ourselves flying over the Padma River. The entire Gangetic Delta over here is fascinating, and you can also get an idea of why Bangladesh faces some of the most intense risks from global warming as the river levels rise and the sea starts invading this low-lying land of this extremely fertile but highly populated country. Our landing at Dhaka was a fairly standard approach onto the runway, but you can see just how crowded the city is. As for service on board these flights between Dhaka and Cox's Bazar, there wasn't much. These are very short flights. So we got a little snack box with a little sweet bread and a little Tetra pack of juice. You don't really expect much service on a 40-minute flight between Cox's Bazar and Dhaka. But flying is the only option you have to go between these two cities simply because the road network in Bangladesh is still pretty poor, and because there's so many rivers and you have to cross and bridge over them, it's not easy to build roads in this part of the world. And even if you build a bridge and a road, you have to worry about the intensity of the monsoons and the typhoon season that can just rip apart infrastructure. So your only option in this extremely poor country is to fly.
ঢাকায় আপনাদের স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি। আপনাদের ব্যক্তিগত নিরাপত্তার জন্য সিটবেল্ট বেঁধে রাখুন। সিটবেল্ট বাঁধার আলোক সংকেত না নেওয়া পর্যন্ত এবং বিমানবন্দরে
We parked at a remote stand, and that allowed me an opportunity to get a picture of the aircraft we just flew on, as well as a few other aircraft parked on the tarmac at Dhaka. We got a picture of the Regency Air 737-800 that had taken off just before us from Cox's Bazar, flying into Dhaka. Once in Dhaka, we went straight to the international terminal to check in for our IndiGo flight back to Delhi. Check-in at Dhaka wasn't too chaotic, but we had a couple of hours to kill, so we spent it in the lounge, and there was some pretty good food to eat at the lounge. By the time we were finally taking off, and since it was winter at this point of time, the sun had already set, so my takeoff from Dhaka is a quite boring night takeoff. You really can't make out much over here, but the city lights of Dhaka are fairly fascinating. This was an amazing trip to go to Bangladesh, and I'm sorry I'm making this trip report after so many months of this travel, but I've been noticing how much traffic my trip reports are getting on YouTube right now. If you watch this video to this point, please be sure to subscribe. Please let me know what sort of other trip reports I can make. I've got a lot of historical travel which I want to put into videos because I've taken a lot of these landing and takeoff videos. You get a lot of great pictures of landings all across the world. So if you'd like me to make some more videos, do let me know. Thank you so much for watching. This is Kushan Mitra signing off.